Hello friends, and welcome back to Modern Homestead Alaska. I am Jessica if you are new around here. In today's video, we talk about preps and stockpiles and pantries a lot on this channel. And I decided that I would go down a trip down memory lane. Cody and I just went to Walmart and I actually bought most of the ingredients of what our family of 6 plus my husband's grandpa, there was 7 of us, would eat on a weekly basis, and all of my grocery shopping had to be less than $100. And we're talking breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 7 people. So won't you join me today? We'll see what it would cost in this day and age here in Alaska, and I will share with you the things I truly fed my family when we really couldn't afford much in the way of food at all. So join me for a tight budget of family meals. I'm just gonna interrupt myself as I get this video started and go and let you know, this was an extremely hard video for me to make. And it seems so silly, but I hope that you stick through it, get to the gratitude at the end, and get a grasp and an understanding, maybe a little bit of who I am and why I do the things that I do around here. Let's go. Well, let me just start off by saying we blew our budget by $18.36 if I had to buy all of what we used to buy today. Now, what you see here was on our worst weeks when I couldn't afford any meat as far as like hamburger or chicken or tuna or any of those things go. And then also on those bad weeks, I often couldn't get like oil or flour or sugar. This truthfully for almost a year, with little bits here and there where we would skip certain things and I would buy oil or flour or sugar as we needed those things. And then once in a while we would swap one of the meals out for like spaghetti or something like that. But for the most basic, in general, what my family ate is what is right here. And I'm not quite sure how to share it other than let's just get into the items and what I would do with them and what I have here. Everything, I literally bought everything for this nostalgia trip, and my family will eat this week. And also, if I had it, like I just grew it in the garden, I'm not going to buy 5 pounds of potatoes when I have 200 pounds of potatoes sitting in my garage from our garden. So obviously you wouldn't expect that from me now, would you? So I'm gonna start with our grand total. If I had bought all of this today, we would be at $118.36 here in Alaska. And that would have totally blown my budget to the point back then, I was able to grab the other little things that I needed within that $100 budget. So in this day and age, I would have to, well, let's just figure out how I could carve $18 off of our total when it really isn't a lot to begin with. So what should we start with? Breakfast. Let's start with breakfast items. In this period of time, for my family, all of my children were 5 and under. So our oldest was in half-day kindergarten, so he didn't eat at school. He took a snack, but he didn't have to eat there, so he ate all of his meals at home, actually. And so I had several really little guys. Therefore, I would get a bag of cereal. Now I want to tell you, our daughter was with me in the store, and she literally made me get the cereal that maybe I wouldn't buy this today, but this is the exact cereal that I would buy for them. I think they were called Honeycombs is the name brand, but I would buy this bag of malt-o-meal cereal for them. And this really helped me out as I was making dinner or doing things. I could put little Wyatt in his high chair and he would eat some pieces of cereal while he was waiting for me, and then the kids could have small bowls of cereal throughout the week. And then I have oats over there. If I would have bought, but I buy oats in bulk now because we still continue to eat so much oatmeal. So that would be a breakfast item for our family. And so I would do something like 1 bag of apples is what I could afford. So the bag of apples would go oftentimes with their breakfast or their snack, but I a lot of times would cut up half of an apple with the oatmeal and a little bit of cinnamon and brown sugar, maybe a little bit of butter or milk poured over it to cool it down, something like that. But they ate a ton of apple cinnamon oatmeal, and the way that I would make that is I would dice up an apple really small and throw it in the water. As the water boiled and then the oats cooked, the apple would be cooked and it would have a little bit of a crunch, a bite to it. And my children still to this day love apple cinnamon oatmeal, and Wyatt to this day still loves cereal. So as we kind of walked back through this, remembering the hard times, I think as a mother, we are really hard on ourselves. Sorry about that. Emotional pantry video today. Here we go. It just is remembering that we're very hard on ourselves as we look back and see what we did to just get by, and it was the very, very best that we could do. And I managed to get 3 meals a day plus snacks in everyone's belly, and that just had to be good enough at the time. And seeing from where we were to where we are, the pantry that I built, it just is, today has been humbling and more difficult for me than I thought a trip down memory lane would be. So that is breakfast. And then for snack, which doubled, oftentimes these things went into meals. Something we buy is carrots. I have a ton of carrots from my garden. These are just some diced ones from the fridge. Carrots, celery, and I would often use the saltine crackers that are going to go with dinner, and little slices of cheese. So the cheese goes through the dinners and lunches as well. So either cheese and crackers, peanut butter and crackers, peanut butter with celery, peanut butter with carrots, and peanut butter with apples. So I did try to give them kind of a filling snack that would get them between breakfast and lunch and dinner, whatever the case was. But these were simple things, and still to this day, we love cheese and crackers and celery and peanut butter. All of those things are actual snacks that to this day my family will eat. So far we've knocked off the cereal, the oats, the saltines, the cheese, the celery, the carrots, and then here are other ways. Moving on to lunch. Lunch was almost always peanut butter and sandwiches. I only bought grape jelly back then. I think it makes the best peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Of all of the jellies out there, this I think is the best. So lots of peanut butter and jelly. Sometimes I would make a grilled cheese out of the bread and the block of cheese that we got. But for the most part, they had peanut butter and jelly sandwiches with part of an apple or some celery or carrots or something along those lines. So that's what they had for lunch almost every day throughout their entire childhood. And again, going with the theme, still to this day, we ate peanut butter, or we still eat a ton of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Now, moving on to the dinners. I tried to make dinners for $5 or less. That was the goal altogether, is $15 a day, so $5 a meal. How could I spread that out? They used to, see these family-sized cans of tomato soup, they used to have bean and bacon in this size can, and one can fed my family. We could not eat just one of these even family size cans of soup as it is our dinner, like our whole dinner. The kids are too big, Wyatt's in sports, all of that. So this couldn't feed my family now, but back then it really truly did. So we would do tomato soup with grilled cheese sandwiches, or tomato soup with crackers and cheese, something like that. We did it 2 nights a week, and then here's how I'd rotate. So say Monday was tomato soup, Tuesday would be bean and bacon. And so we had to get 3 cans to equal the ounces of the big can, because the big can is somewhere between 2 and 3. So 3 it is. So 3 cans of bean and bacon would be, we'll pretend it was 1. So Monday would be tomato soup with grilled cheese. Tuesday would be bean and bacon with crackers. And then Wednesday, I would make homemade beans. So what we have here, I have a ton in my stockpile of beans, so I'm not gonna buy bags of beans just to have them on the table today. So I just grabbed a couple of beans out of my pantry. They are the 1 pound. So on Wednesday, I would get up in the morning, I would throw in the crock pot 1 of the ham hocks with 1 pound of beans. That's where we would use the onions, the celery, the carrots. Again, using the same things throughout the whole week to make the meals. And then, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we would go Thursday, we would go tomato soup again. Friday, bean and bacon. Saturday would be homemade beans. And then on Sunday, we would use oftentimes the potatoes, and I would make homemade potato soup with, this is the cheapest bacon that they had. We make our own bacon, things like that now, but I would fry up some bacon. We could use it as sandwiches, as topping on the potato soup. We use the cheese as topping for the potato soup, the carrots, onions, celery, all of that goes in the potato soup, as well as milk for the kids. And then on Sundays, I always tried to make like a cake with some icing, something like that. It made it feel very, very special. And then the other meal that we often snuck in is, Aaron and I always joked growing up that they don't know that macaroni and cheese and hot dogs is terrible. They don't know that that's not a great thing. They enjoyed it because they were children. I would splurge, I don't know why. Aaron can't stand the off-brand of macaroni and cheese. It is so cheap to begin with, so I would go with the Kraft macaroni and cheese, and I would try and do my best by doing beef hot dogs. These are outrageous nowadays, but Aaron will definitely still eat them. Now, today, the ham hocks aren't going to go to waste. The bacon, nothing you see here will go to waste, but it really was exactly what we ate. So, a couple of other things. We always bought eggs. I have my own chicken, so I didn't buy any eggs. Eggs have gone astronomically. I wrote down how much the eggs were today. And if I had to buy eggs today, they're $7.12 for 2 18 packs. We ate eggs a ton for breakfast. You could make egg sandwiches out of them. Egg sandwiches for lunch sometimes when we were tired of peanut butter and jelly. A lot of hard-boiled eggs that you can throw in. You can make egg salad out of this with some mayonnaise or a couple of condiments that, like I said, I would buy as we need here and there, but not like big stockpiles of them like what I have right now. So the eggs would kill me if I had to continue to buy eggs because we eat so many of them. And then let me see what else. So we have the milk, the oats. Okay, the only other thing you don't see on the table that I had to buy on a weekly basis was butter. Butter right now for 1 pound of butter is $4.54. I buy mine in bulk now at Costco, but if that was not something I could do, $4.54. I tried to stay away from like margarines. I tried to do my best, friends, and always would buy real butter. But right now that would cost me $4.54. So it is just, it's mind-blowing to me to look at what I got. What I actually paid was $90.85 because I don't have to buy the carrots, the potatoes, I didn't have to buy the beans, I didn't have to buy the oatmeal. Oatmeal now is $4.38. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I kid you not, I used to be able to get that like $2 or less, something like that. So, and that was everything other than these two items are store brand. So everything was the Walmart brand, and maybe the Welch's grape jelly is cheaper than the off-brand grape jelly for some reason in this specific container, but even the peanut butter had to be the store brand. And then the Campbell's soup. Now I did notice that they do have Walmart brand family size cans of soup. They didn't back when this is what we ate on a weekly basis. So I didn't have to buy butter today. I didn't buy cake or the frosting because I keep those in our stockpile and I don't actually need those this week. And because we had some, I'm not gonna buy it. And then the eggs and the butter. So what is my point in this video? Obviously I didn't cook anything for you. I just showed you my grocery haul of less than $100 of how I can feed a family of 7 for $115, breakfast, lunch, and dinner plus 2 snacks, and how I truly live that way. What was the point of buying these things? What is all of that point? I know many of you are wondering, what is your point? Get to your point. My point is, I wanted to remember in a very real way. I wanted to buy the groceries, set it on my table, look into the camera and have a conversation with real people, and remember that everyone doesn't have a pantry like mine. Everyone doesn't have a stockpile like mine, and that I came from a place where I didn't have those things, where I never had that amount of oats alone, in a place where I did have to buy all of this on a weekly basis in order to feed our family. And this was the bare minimum. This was as cheap as I could get it and as cheap as I could go. And it just is important to me to be real with my audience, with the people that reach out and open their lives and their hearts to me and watch me. I wanted to be honest and say, this is really where we came from. I know that we're not here anymore, but I wanted to remember. I wanted my family to remember that this is the food that we would eat, and this is how we ate those things. And hot dogs and macaroni and cheese were a treat. And I wanted to be able to connect with those that are struggling right now, so that my mindset as we move forward with pantry and prepping and those conversations that I love having with you guys. I love building my stock in my pantry, therefore I love sharing it with you. But as I move forward into this next season, this fall season, I want to be really real with you, and I wanted to remember exactly where I came from, not just, oh, remember. No, I wanted to have it on my table and put it into my family's bellies this week and have this as the meals and the snacks. And as I move forward making videos, I wanted to be realistic in what people are going through and how I managed to make so much for so little, even back then. And then I'm just so mind blown that I couldn't do that today. I couldn't buy all of this plus Like I used to be able to get like some laundry soap, the mayonnaise, the mustard, the ketchup, or whatever the case was that we needed. Maybe some oil, some vinegar at the time, whatever little staples, seasonings, or spices that went into it. And today, in today's world here in Alaska, I couldn't even afford all of this for less than $100, let alone I then couldn't add anything, toilet paper that my family might need, diapers, that $100 budget, I bought diapers on that. I nursed all of the babies so that I didn't have to buy formula, and I bought diapers for that $100 and all of that. So just, I needed to be real with you and share with you. Maybe you feel a little inspired and not just sad by the end of this. Let's look for inspiration. Okay, hopefully some of you have sat with me through our emotions here and just remembered kind of where we were at, and maybe you remember where you were at, and maybe this is exactly where you're at right now. Let's find that motivation to move forward. Well, the truth is, sometimes this seems disheartening, but getting up every day and doing the very best that we can is exactly what Erin and I did, and we didn't complain about it. We were grateful that we put food on the table and that there was something for our children to eat, and that there were a snack and a breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and it was the best that we could do. And believe it or not, when these times were hard, the food, they really were some very, very happy times for our family. Erin and I were so young and so in love and so naive at the time that I really think love carried us through a lot of those times. So when I look back and realize what we've made it through and where we're at today, I am full of gratitude that he works so hard. Like, I am full of gratitude that I married a man that worked so hard, gave everything he could for his family, and would come home and have to eat beans day after day. And I tried to break it up and make it new and different, and he just didn't complain. This is what we could put on. He didn't love it. No one loved it. The kids, though, it's mind-blowing to me to look at this table and say, yep, I could literally feed this to our family this weekend. I will. And they will be just happy little campers. In their minds, they're not going to go back to a place of struggle by eating this. They're just like, oh, my mom's always made that. Just over the weekend, we were building outside, and we had tomato and bean and bacon soup because we were cold and wet. Cody grabbed some out of the basement so we didn't have to cook anything up, and she made that with grilled cheese sandwiches. And that is literally what we ate this past weekend. So for us, there's nothing wrong with it. This is literally something that we would still do to this day. So where's the gratitude in it? The gratitude is I have a table full of food. And a husband coming home from work and healthy children. And that is more than most around the world. So moving forward, I hope you stuck around. Not the longest of videos, and I didn't actually do any cooking, but I am going to put this stuff away, and I hope that you choose to join me on the channel. Moving forward, we'll make some beautiful meals here on the channel and share some incredible recipes and some other things I learned to do during the hard times, the making of bread and lots of homemade desserts and those sort of things. And I hope that you choose to join us. I know this isn't your typical what we eat in a week or what you can feed your family, how to eat on $100 or less video. However, it was just my trip down memory lane, what I bought for my family this week. I've told you how we're gonna eat it and what we're gonna do. I may record some of this and post it later, but if not, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, you'll get notification. Thumbs up and comments do help our channel to grow. I just wanted to share with you what we're doing in the upcoming week and see if any of this is inspiring or just a jog down memory lane, whatever the case is. Feel free to share it with me in the comment section. I would appreciate that. With that, I'll see you in the next video.